Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. If I am coming across loud and clear, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Boston is here in the background. Thank you for being here, Boston. And today I do have a guest. We'll get to that shortly. Interesting day on the market today. PPI came out hotter than expected, the producer price index, which means that people who are buying goods to sell are paying higher prices, which doesn't tend to bode well for the market or for the economy, because then they're going to raise prices as well. So we all know that inflation is an issue. But the whole job market, though, is the dichotomy that the Fed has to face, because is the economy still growing by way of the market, by way of jobs? And if so, does the Fed continue to raise interest rates? And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So it was a surprise, because the forecasted number, we came in hotter than the forecasted number, and we came in hotter than the previous number. So the Fed is still looking. Is inflation still a problem? And if it is, how much of a problem? Really, Bruce says, Glenn, you need a haircut. I just got my haircut. Dang, I just got my haircut. You talk about I need a haircut. Thank you for the education and time, says Gemini 10. Thank you very much for being here and supporting this channel. We try very hard to give out great information, not just run on the bandwagon of just stuff going on. All right, so as we look at what's going on in the market, yesterday we had a good strong day, 3 green lights. Today we've got all 3 yellow lights. Back and forth is just what the market is doing. And I still think that with the PPI number coming in, the market started off to the downside today. For those of you who were in our day trading room, the Jockey Club, I ran it today. And we watched the market break back through the level of the gap down. And the market's moving up. But also keep in mind that that the VIX number, the volatility on the S&P 500, is back above 20. So we're going to expect these big swing days. Any shorter, you wouldn't have any at all. Let it grow a half an inch and keep it there, says Debbie. Debbie's trying to get, something, I might be on half an inch. That's a lot of hair. And then at some point in time, Joey will say, I need a haircut as well. Has Fed Governor Glenn spoke to the Fed Governor Powell yet? I'm nowhere near a Fed Governor at all. All I'm doing is just bringing you the information that you need to know. That's all. That's all it is. All right. So with all of that being said, let's talk about what news is moving the market. Actually, let's talk about the market timing in particular. And here we stand. Here's the VectorVest composite. Here's the gap down this morning prior to the news. The news came out at 8:30. And then the move. Here we are breaking back above the level of resistance, which was the gap level, and we're still trading higher. It's kind of weird that this would happen. Why this is happening, especially people with the fears of inflation getting worse, and if inflation or getting worse than what it was expected, that the Fed is going to raise interest rates. So it's very, 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 very interesting that the market is pulling up higher even as we speak right now. So let's talk about some news in regards to what's going on with the PPI. Wholesale prices rose 0.7% in January, more than expected. Fuel and inflation increase. So follow me here. If inflation increases, what is the Fed going to do? Continue to raise interest rates, right? Even if it's a quarter basis points, don't lose sight of the fact that he's still continuing to raise interest rates, which is not good for the economy. Yes, I know what makes a good looking guy. Wow, I got you. Glenn, I'm thinking about an 80s throwback flat top. Nope, not doing that either. All right, Earl says, looking at the MTI, we're going to take a look at that. Are we back in the level where the market is looking overbought again, which will help to pull the market down as well? So talking about inflation and talking about interest rates, right? How about this story? Fed Mester saw a compelling case for a 50 basis point rate hike this month. And what it did, it only raised another quarter. I'm thinking that the Fed has already stated that he will continue to raise interest rates for a longer time. Whether it's a quarter basis points, whether it's 50 basis points, whether it's 75 basis points, he's still going to continue to raise interest rates, which is not good for the economy. So I'm still of the mindset that we've got more downside forces to push the market lower than to keep moving the market higher like it's going right now. So with that being said, how about an opportunity to take advantage of the volatility in the market with another trading tool outside of just buying stocks? And the tool that we can use, whether we're brand new to the market or not, is options. Options, because you are set into how much money you can lose on an option trade by way of the premium you pay or the premium you sold, whichever it is, you're locked in, especially in times of high volatility, you're locked into a max loss. Whereas if you're investing in stocks only, there is no set loss you can take. The stock's price can go all the way down to zero and you can lose all of that money. So from an options perspective, how about if you're brand new to options, that you take what we call our Options Jump Starter course? And the guest that I have today is Jim Penna, and he's presenting a webcast that will bring you to the understanding of what options are all about. And this is a great opportunity to learn to play that volatility and use options and lock in the most amount of money you can lose. I'm going to bring him on now, and he's going to talk a little bit about the webcast, and we'll go from there. Go ahead, Jim. Welcome, by the way.
Hi, Glenn. Thank you for having me. Welcome to all of those who are watching. Good to see you here. I kind of have the chat over on the side, so hello to all the familiar names I see there. Jay's here. Everybody's here. Good to see you guys. Thanks, Glenn. I just want to take a second. In this market, as we've seen, what has it been now? 14 going on 15 months since November of 21, right? We hit that all-time high on the VectorVest composite. We got our confirmed down call. And it's, listen, I know from October we hit a low and we're trying to come back, but we've hit resistance again. The point being is how do we navigate that, right? So the beauty of options, the versatility and flexibility of options is always really the best way, as Glenn noted, about potential losses. You have leverage, right? That's one of the most powerful things of among many of options is the leverage you can use. Not to mention the ability to profit in a downtrending market. A lot of folks think, the only time I can make money in the stock market is if the market's going up. And it's just not the case. And the ability to trade options is the way to go. So with that said, I just want to take a minute, answer questions, chat with Glenn for a minute or two. We're having a free webinar. Next week, next Wednesday and Thursday, you can go to our link. I guess Joey's got it up there already.
Joey's got it up there, and I've got it up on my
vectorvest.com.
screen as well, just so that people can see it.
Beautiful. Yeah, and we're just going to talk about the power of options, just lay out some fundamentals of trading options. Brian D'Amico, our colleague Brian, is also will be presenting along. I'll be on with him for those. And listen, in this kind of market, right, whether it is to profit, whether it's to trade, or whether it's to hedge and protect, if remember, it is an introductory part. That's why it's called the Options Jump Starter, right? So for those who've never traded options, or maybe you have and you just don't have the system in place to do it, this webinar will help you out. For the folks who have never traded options and kind of raise their hands and back off and say, well, it's just something I can't do. I don't want to do that. Rethink that, right? Come to the webinar and get a sense of, there's a foundation you need to learn. There are certain things you need to learn, but once you do, to be able to buy a call in a bullish market, buy a put in a bearish market, taking my retirement services hat off for a minute. I mean, the ability to make money in a downtrending market is every bit as powerful as an uptrending market. So you don't have to sit on the sidelines when we're in this type of market. How
about this, Jim? Before I go and look at this, I showed them how to get to it. Debbie has a question. Please help me wrap options around my brain. I can't figure out how they work or how to do them. My brokerage firm won't even let me do options. I can't blame them.
Well, Debbie, you said, right?
Yes.
Debbie, that this webcast that we have next, this free webcast that we have next week, I think is a good place for you to start. We're going to walk through exactly, what they are. It's hard for me in a 30-second section here to explain all about options, but just understand it's a derivative. The power is leverage. You're still looking at market trends. You're looking for a good stock in a bullish market. You're looking for a stock you think is going to go down in a bearish market. You're just buying the right to buy a stock. So it's a derivative. The leverage, like I said, is very powerful. There are some basic theoretical or the the theory behind options that you do have to learn. But if you understand buying a stock or selling a stock with not a lot of effort, you're going to understand buying a call. In other words, buying the right to buy a stock, or buying a put, giving you the right to sell the stock, right? Instead of going out and shorting a stock. As far as not having access to trading options, you do have to, with most of the mainstream brokers, you do have to get approval to do it. You have to fill out a quick form, but you should be able to at least get what they call level 1 options approval, which just is basic buying calls and buying puts.
I'm going to take 2 more questions. One says, explain puts and assignments.
Puts and assignments, real quick. If you want me to answer that, give me 30 seconds at least.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Puts and assignment. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's 2 key phrases, and we talk about it in the webcast, right? When you trade options, you either exercise or you're assigned, right? So if you're the buyer of an option, let's say you buy a put or you buy a call option, right? You determine, you're the owner. You're not obligated to do anything. You have the right to exercise your right to buy 100 shares of a stock at a certain price by a certain date, right? That's what a call option is. Now, assignment in puts means that if to put the 2 together, a put option, if you buy it, gives you the right to sell ABC stock at a certain price by a certain date, right? No obligations. Nobody can, you exercise your right or you don't. Assignment comes in when you're the seller of an option, right? So if I sell a put option as a bullish trade, right? And let's say, the stock goes down and I'm assigned. Remember, because I sold a put, I am now obligated to buy the underlying stock. So if I'm assigned, that means somebody else exercised their right. The best way to remember those 2 words, exercise your right, means you did it. If you're assigned, it means somebody did it to you. That's the best way to kind of correlate those 2 phrases. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take one more short question and we're going to show them how to get to the webcast.
Okay.
Randy asks how to pick strike prices and how to use VectorVest with options.
Yeah, well, that's that again, another great question. I would love to sit here for an hour and tell you about it, but we're going to do that next week. So the part about using VectorVest is very important because it's the same idea, right? It's about the introduction or the jumpstart is about buying calls or buying puts, right? Profiting in an up or down trending market. How to use VectorVest to do that? Well, you go to the homepage and you heed the color guard, right? What is my bias on the underlying trend? As far as picking your strike prices and your expiration dates, we have a system that goes through that. I can tell you, we don't like to we like to put probabilities on our side. So we're going to look for at or in the money call options. We're going to go out. We're not going to buy, weekly options and hope that the stock moves by by Friday. But we go into much greater detail in the webcast. But yeah, there's a lot to it. But how to use VectorVest? Well, just like buying stocks, heed the color guard, know when to be bullish, when to be bearish. That's part of any successful system that you put together. And then find the proper underlying stock. And in this case, you could either buy the stock, you could buy a call, right? Believing that the value of the call rises as the value of the underlying stock rises. Or instead of going out and shorting a stock, or you could buy a contra ETF, you could short a stock, right? Or you could use the power of leverage and play the overall market or an individual stock to the downside, buying put options.
All right. So it looks like, Jim, the majority of the questions that are being asked, for the most part, should be answered within this webcast. Would you agree with that?
I would. Listen, the webcast goes into the scenarios. It goes through a lot of definitions. It gives you, we're gonna if remember, it's options jump starter. If you don't trade options, the goal there is to show you, number one, why you should. Are we going to be able to, in an hour webcast, show you every single thing you need to know? No, but we're going to build a really good foundation for what it takes. First of all, so you'll understand options, why you should trade them, the power of leverage, and how we use VectorVest to build a system, right? Whether you're trading stocks or options or futures or commodities or whatever it is, right? If you don't have a plan, you don't have a system in place, then you're not going to be successful. So
Amen to that.
To us, that's really, listen, we'll teach you the basics. We'll do a pretty good job of that, but having that process and that system in place is really key. And we talk about that on Wednesday, Thursday,
Wednesday and Thursday. Yep. All right. So Joey has pinned the link to the top of the chat. If you haven't already, click on that link. It'll bring you to this page. A simple way to understand options trading, what the important terms are, the best time to place option trades, how to increase your probability of success, the 5-step option profit system. Folks, I don't think that there's anything else that can be more entailed in a free webcast than what you're going to see next Wednesday and Thursday. If you haven't already, Joey put it back in the chat again, and it's pinned to the chat. I need everyone in here to click that link. Fill this out. Pick whichever day you want. Pick whichever day and whatever time best fits for you. You won't regret it, especially if you're brand new to options. You won't regret it, even if you barely know options and want a better understanding of how to play options. It is the jump starter. So for those of you who are very adept in playing options, this is probably not for you. But it's for the brand new person who has tried options, as Jim said, and didn't make money, or you're brand new to options. This webcast is for you. So simply click on the link, whether it's in the chat or it's at the top of the chat. Support Jim. I think that you will definitely come away with a much better understanding of options than you have right now.
Yeah, and just one last note, Glenn, before I go and hand it back to you. Whether you learn to trade options or not, the understanding buying put options is so important to this current market and what we're seeing now. Glenn mentioned I'll paraphrase, he's not real bullish on the current market.
Yeah.
Is that a fair thing to say,
That's
Glenn?
a fair thing to say.
Without going into too many details. Well, for anybody in here who comes to the coaching group or listens to me, that I'm not either. But that's not what's important, is that you understand that, the ability to buy a put option, not only as a trading tool, but as a way to protect portfolios and equities that you may own even for longer term. So again, the power of options, the flexibility and versatility, trading them, using them as protection and insurance for your overall portfolio is really important. So with that, Glenn, I'm going to hand it back to you. Thank you guys for giving me a few minutes.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Jim's got a busy schedule. He took time to be here to talk about it. And I just hope that you support him by clicking on the link, signing up. It is free. It is free. Just listen, especially if you're brand new to options. All right, so that takes care of that. And again, I thank him very much for being here. Is this free webcast for VectorVest members only? No, Don. Whether you're a member to the VectorVest system or not, everybody and anybody can join. Anybody. So if you're not a subscriber to the system yet, of which you should be, Don, but if you're not, you can attend as well. You can definitely attend as well. All right. With that being said, let's go back out to some other news on some stocks that I have for you as well. Paramount. How about this? Paramount Plus plans a price increase as it hits 56 million subscribers. All right. Can anybody, I want to check this out real fast. How many Netflix, Netflix? I want to, so 56 million. Where's Netflix? Woo! 223 million. I just did a story not too long ago on Netflix. And again, I still say that Netflix is the big boy. I did that for the Valentine stocks. How many of you saw the Valentine's Day stocks video, type of one? All right. Netflix was in my list of Valentine's Day stocks. 223 million. Paramount is at 56 million. Even with the raising of the price, what are they going to eventually do to you? Well, if they've got to, they're gonna pass the price raising onto you. Why? Because it's going to cost them more money to do business because of inflation. So inflation is not under control. Inflation still needs to be managed, and the Fed is we're using the only tool that they have pretty much, which is the raising of the interest rates. This is why I still think that the market's got a lot more downside. Debbie asks, how can I save this video? You don't need to save it. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. Even after the live stream today, it will be on the channel. So you can go watch it again. All right, Glenn, Elliott Wave supporters think we are in a new bull market. Listen, I don't know a lot about the Elliott Wave. It pretty much, to me, looks a lot like Fibonacci's. I think so, a variation of Fibonacci's. All I'm saying is if everyone is just looking at what's here, what's going on in the market, inflation going up is not good for the economy. Right? I'm not going to even ask for you whether or not you agree or not. Inflation going up is not good for the economy. Raising interest rates is not good for the economy. And if you've got them both going on at the same time, one's got to give. And no matter which one gives, it ain't good for the economy. So that's why, in essence, I still think that there's a lot more downside. And I think that what we're going through on the upside is irrational exuberance. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I can't see us being in a new bull market. It doesn't make sense. All right. Sonny says, I don't need Netflix. I get my entertainment from Glenn. Hey now. I like that. All right. So again, more inflationary news, right? Next, how about this? How many of you are still trading crypto? All right. How many of you are still trading crypto? I'm still thinking that crypto winter is not going away anytime soon. All right. I said spending money was good for inflation. Then I fell off. Yeah, I know. You know me. I don't like to get political in here, John. I won't get political in here. All right. Inflation and interest rates are killers in this economy. Absolutely, Kenneth. And they're both going up. All right. And I know that inflation is peaked and coming down, but when we still see the inflation numbers come out and they're still higher than expected, that's not good. Now, who profits from inflation? Companies that are companies like Paramount, companies like Disney, companies like everything that has a product or service that they sell. Are they profiting? I don't know if they're profiting, but they're trying to keep their margins up. And if they keep their margins up, then they are profiting, right, Lou? Think about it from that perspective. All right, if they're trying to keep their margins where they are, then you raising prices. It's the companies. I think that there's no other way of looking at it. Jay says he's in Mara Riot and Hut. I'd still say be careful. Banks are breaking up with crypto during the regulatory crackdown. Be careful with crypto. That's the only reason why I have this story. How about this? AI hot topic. I've done a couple of AI videos out there. Go check them out if you haven't already. But U.S. issues declaration on responsible use of AI. And I think that that's important that they put that in there. Responsible use of AI in the military. It's looking at, we invite all states to join in implementing international norms as it pertains to military development and use of AI, autonomous weapons. And they have some autonomous weapons. If you ever look at a ship, they got that machine gun that automatically hones in on bad stuff and just tears it up. So I think we've already been in that function of AI from that perspective. But AI I believe the future is now. I did that in the video. The future is now, and AI is on the move. AI is definitely on the move. Roger says, DOD being pressured to research alternative to life's batteries. I'm looking for companies who are working with vanadium redox flow batteries. Any ideas? I just heard about vanadium yesterday. I still haven't looked into it. That might be a hot topic. I don't know anything about it yet, Roger. I just got introduced to it in yesterday's live stream. Vanadium. I need to highlight that. Maybe something for me to look into. I don't know much about it. Who cannot afford to get Netflix? Is there anything a whole lot cheaper out there? There's a lot of streaming services that are out there, but Netflix has got everything. It's the content. People go to a streaming service because of the content. All right. And Netflix still has the content that a lot of people want to look at. AI is the new 5G. I like that, Rick. I do like that. AI is the new 5G. Glenn, why aren't you thinking about hydrogen? I've done some research on hydrogen. Man, I just don't know yet. I haven't found anything that made me feel warm and fuzzy inside, Scott. That's why. That's the reason why. All right, so I'll still keep my eyes on it. All right, how about this? Troubling signs emerge, again, going with inflation, and being able to pay your bills. Troubling signs emerge as credit card debt hits record high. And I'm not going to put that out there who's feeling the pinch from that, because I don't want you to have to, admit to that or not in here. But there's a lot of people that are putting, because things are so expensive, because of inflation, they're putting stuff on their credit cards. Now, the problem is if interest rates are rising, you got to pay that money back at a higher rate. Man, we're going to put ourselves into a vicious cycle. And this is another reason why I think inflation is definitely a downward force on the market. A couple of stocks to look at. CYH, we looked at that this morning in the Jockey Club. Surges on Q4 beat. All right, so that's a stock we're going to look at. Amazon and other quality stocks have been hit hard, but they could be buys. This is a Barron's article. And the other stocks, there's Amazon, and we're going to look at these. Amazon, Match, Snowflake, also in the AI space, and Centene in the healthcare. So this story talks about 4 stocks. We're going to take a look at them in the VectorVest software. So we should not be buying at this time. Is that what you're saying? You know something, Debbie, and everybody who believes the same thing, type 1 in the room. This is currently a trader's market. Type 1 in the room if you believe that. This is a trader's market. So Debbie, as I start to watch the ones come up in the room, I think that they should definitely be coming in. A trader's market means that you're not in stocks very long. If you buy today because the market is up today, you do that. But you may be selling tomorrow because the market is down. So Debbie, that is the best way for me to answer that question. This is not a market where you hold stocks long term. This is a market where you hold stocks from a couple of hours to possibly your day or two. Does that answer your question, Debbie? Because that's a great question. This is a trader's market and not a trending market. In a trending market, I can buy and hold stocks longer, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. We are in a trader's market and not in a trending market. So the best answer to that question again is you take what the market gives to you on a day over day basis. Last story I'm going to talk about actually came from our website. If you ever go to www.vectorvest.com, go to our main website, go over to blogs right here, and it's a hot stock. The solar industry is booming, but solar edge stock is falling. How should investors react? So if you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest system and you want to take a look at what stocks we're talking about every day, we try to put out a stock almost every day of what to look at. So even if you're not a subscriber, you can still get some insights. What commodities go up in case of a recession or Fed rising rates above current forecasts? What commodities? Well, it's not if we've got recession issues, unless the dollar falls, precious metals are going to be underwater. But if the dollar falls, precious metals like gold and silver will probably rise. Because of high inflation, commodities like oil and natural gas will go up in price. But when it comes down, if the inflation really starts to get affected to the really start to push down, I'd do a little work for you in regards to that, Oscar, to try to find what would move to the upside. All right. I think that, again, if inflation starts to go down, gold would probably move. There you go. Roger says, I bought back in the SMCI a week ago, up 11% today. Probably ought to sell it. SMCI is a stock that I'm going to be looking at today. All right, let's get into my listing of stocks for today, as a matter of fact. All right, let's go to the viewers tab. So we took a look at what's going on from a market perspective. All of the major indices are coming off of their session lows. Again, irrational exuberance. The market is still down. All of the major indices are still down for the day, but they are all coming off of their session lows. You're very welcome, Oscar. I'm going to probably do a video on that too. All right, so that's very interesting. The stocks, the big stock news, all of the stories I just talked about are coming up. There's CYH, 53% today. That's on an earnings beat. Good gravy. Look how far it is overvalued, though. Look at fundamentally, the stock is not good. This is news driven. I'd be very careful with this. This goes back to Debbie. Debbie, this is one of those stocks that you take advantage of today, but I don't know if I hold beyond today. Paramount, because they're raising prices, well, that probably is going to affect it adversely. Also, I'm going to call this fairly valued. Fundamentally, not good. Centene, that healthcare stock, up today a little bit, undervalued. I like it. Fundamentally sound. But with the news, can it push the RT back above 1? Possibly, but it is a fundamentally sound stock. Sedge, the solar company, way overvalued. It is fundamentally sound by way of relative value and relative safety. This is interesting because it's overvalued. Doesn't make it a bad stock. It just means that people perception of this stock is good, that they're willing to pay a premium to own it. Fundamentally, it is sound, though. Snowflake in the AI space, way overvalued, fundamentally not sound, going up in price because the space is going up in price. For those of you who are looking from an AI perspective, one ETF to play the whole space, here is one, AIEQ. I like it because I think the space is hot. This is a good way to play the whole space as well. Coin from the Bitcoin side of the fence, fundamentally not sound, going up. Actually, Bitcoin is starting to move, but a lot of people are pulling out of it. Amazon, way overvalued. It does make money, though, and it is in an uptrend. And Match, this came out of that article. Match, Amazon, Snow, and CNC. This came out of the Barron's article. Match, on the other hand, I'm not feeling that as a Barron stock. Way overvalued, fundamentally not good, and RT is below 1. All right, so I wanted to look at a story on somebody else out there and look at the VectorVest system to get a better understanding. How about precious metals? Debbie, I did talk about precious metals. I honestly think that until the dollar goes down in value, precious metal stocks will be underwater. They will be under some selling pressure. Should be an interesting trip. So Drew is taking a trip somewhere. A lot of major bourbon distilleries are you know something? I wanna do that. How come nobody invited me to go out on a bar crawl? I want to go on the bar crawl. Hook a brother up. Does anybody have any good AI stocks? Debbie, if you are a subscriber to the software, guess what? We've got a watch list. Special watch list. No, is that what I'm looking for? No, I'm looking for overview watch list. Guess what? We've got 2 watch lists of AI stocks. Again, if you're not a subscriber to the system, 99 cents gets you access to the VectorVest software. Joey's going to put a link up in there for you. 99 cents gets you access to VectorVest for 30 days. All right. You want to look at good AI stocks by way of our analysis? We've got watch lists for you already. Not only that, I've done 2 videos on the YouTube channel for AI stocks. Check them out as well. All right. So, where was I? Big new stocks. There they all are. Listen, From the analysis, I can make a better decision on which ones out of the stories I like. CYH, as I just mentioned, way overvalued. This was an earnings play. I wouldn't own it more past today or tomorrow. All right, let's talk about some swing trade plays. So, you know me, I said that after the Tampa 2 day, we're going to start to incorporate some of the things that we learned in Tampa and start to apply them in my live streams. So the EMA Squeeze, I will not show you that search because it is a perk of taking a course, the Swing Traders course. With taking that Swing Traders course, which you pay for, of course, you get the makeup of the search. So I won't show you the search, but I can definitely give you some stocks that are in the search. All right, so here's 6 stocks in here. Looking at the EMA Squeeze, looking at a 5, 8, and a 13 moving average, and along with some of our home cooking utilizing the VectorVest relative timing indicator. Here's 6 stocks for you. Let's graph them all real quick. Let's take a look. So these are stocks that I found in the EMA Squeeze. Put these on a 1-month graph. I'll use my technical layout looking at the 3 and the 8 volume in RT. This stock moved up today, but a lot of give back. Look at the lot of give back. A very little body movement. It's in the green. We call this a doji, indecision. But what I do like about it, with big volume and RT going back above 1, it broke out of a channel. I would keep my eyes on this. It's still higher than yesterday's close. I would definitely keep my eyes on this. I don't like the give back. I'm thinking a lot of people have taken some profit on this, but it met the criteria for the EMA Squeeze and broke out of a channel. Humana, loved the movement coming off of support, the 3-8 cross. The moving averages, the 5, 8, and 13 have crossed. It's stopping right at a level of resistance, sitting at the level of 511.61. I'd like to see if it's got more legs to break through it, but it met the criteria. Same thing with AIG, another insurance company. Was that 2 insurance? No, healthcare and insurance. AIG loved the movement of support. 3-8 cross, broke through 2 levels of resistance, moving higher. Very little wick at the top. I like that stock as well. I like that stock, and I cannot lie. CACI, bouncing off support, coming out of a channel, not out of the channel yet, but at a level of resistance. I like very little wick at the top. The 3-8 just crossed. I would keep my eye on that. I would really like to see if that stock breaks above the level of resistance. Whew, LANC, look at that. I don't know if I really want to call that a hammer, but that's not at the bottom. But I like the 3-8 cross about 4 days ago. Stock's price moving up, and RT is getting above 1. I like that. And then the last stock is AM, Antero Midstream, I'm assuming. 3-8 cross, a little bit of a wick at the top. Volume has been pretty steady. Right at 1 on RT. Would love to see if it could break through that 1-month breakthrough. All right, the DEW. Let's go take a look at that. Another swing trade. All right, from David Paul. I've got that search. DEW swingers. Where is it at? We found this out in Tampa. He uses the stock CI or comfort index on the S&P 500. All right, for his DEW swingers. I just put it on the whole market. Average volume greater than 200,000 shares. And the sort is price growth persistence times earnings growth rate, which I think is a great sort for his search. All right, so I ran the search, and here's 5 stocks from the search that I like. Let's graph these all. Now, because this is more of a swing trade, let's go put this on a 3-month graph, change the layout to GETR swing. Now I'm looking at a 20-day exponential moving average from a swing trade perspective. I like the move. New 3-month high, breaking through resistance, undervalued, rising earnings per share. So, Debbie, you're looking for stocks from a swing trade perspective that are doing well even in the current market's conditions. That's what these stocks are. From a swing trade perspective, I like it. Very little wick at the top. Again, undervalued, above my 20-day exponential moving average, and earnings per share is greater than it was 3 months ago. Here's another one for you, Debbie. Undervalued ASC, a shipping company, new 3-month high, good volume, good earnings per share. When would you have bought AIG? I don't know why I don't see it now. For me, for any stock that I'm looking at personally, I'm looking at the 3-8 crossover. Scott, I'm always looking at a 3. If I'm looking for a stock to get into, I'm always looking for a 3-8 crossover. That's my good short to midterm. If I'm looking for a long-term stock, Scott, I'd like to see stock's price go above the 20-day. And then I want to accompany that with breaking out of a level of resistance. You know, now that you said that, I'm going to show you something. What would I look for? I'd look for one of two things. One, I would look for stock price, not filter. I want to do this on the fly because I think that's a great question, Scott. So I want to look at price, split adjusted, pro trader, EMA, and let's go start with my shorter term. 3 crossing above the 8 in the last 2 days. All right. And I want to see the stock's price split adjusted, another pro trader. And I want to look at support resistance. I want breaking price nearing support. No, breaking resistance by 0.5%. And then last thing, I want price volume, average volume greater than, let's just say 250,000, 250. So for my shorter term stocks, good search. All right, pretty straightforward. Stocks price breaking above the 3, breaking above the 8, breaking through resistance, and 250,000 shares. Scott, does that make sense? All right, does that make sense? And now let's do it again for, let's do it again. Let's go the 1 day crossing above the 20-day. All right, that's just price going above the 20-day with the same background with everything else. Let's run that. This is for my longer term plays. All right, these are more for my swing trade plays. There we go. So Scott and Debbie, does that help you both? Yes or no? Does that help you both? Hopefully it does. That's a great question. When would you have bought AIG, or better yet, what are my signals to get in, whether it's a short-term trade or a long-term trade? And let's go back up to the graphs. Let's go look at AIG specifically. AIG, and let's go put this on like a 3-month graph. Great opportunity. Where's my, let's go put this back on the graph layouts. Trade. Looking at the 3 and the 8. Most recently, I would have bought it here. All right. Most recently, I would have bought it here. All right. For the shorter term, let's go put this on to the swing side, looking at the 20-day. Most recent, I would have bought back here. Rode it until here. The price of the stock was $59.87. When it went back below the 20-day, it was $62.21. All right, so that was a little bit off topic, but I think that was a great question, and we were able to do it live to really give some insight as to when you were able to get into the stock. All right, so Sting is in here, STNG. TH, I like the bounce off support. I like the most recent cross above the 20-day exponential moving average. Remember, longer term. And it is undervalued. And the last stock in here is SGML in a tight channel, but recently went above the 20-day and is undervalued. Earnings per share higher than it was 3 months ago. All right, let's get back to the viewers. Let's go look at the EMA crossover from last week, the EMA squeeze from last week. Let's go see what they look like. All right, did we make any money on these? Let's hope we did. Let's go see. Let's do a quick test. Good googly moogly. One of the stocks went down 70%. Woo! And that was a stock that was up 482% on 1 day. What did you think was going to happen with that stock? We probably shouldn't even looked at that. But what did you think was going to happen? People shorted the bejesus out of that because they made a lot of money. The other 3 stocks all made money. The other 3 stocks. Let's do that again without incorporating that stock. All right. Quick test those. Quick test. The 3 stocks that did go up, that made sense, made 3.75%. Let's go look at the DEW swingers from last week. All right, here they are. Let's do a quick test of all of them. Hey, we did pretty good, right? From a swing trade perspective, the DEW swingers outpaced the market by a lot, and every stock made money. All right. Normally, I would have some stocks from David Paul's bow tie search. I got no stocks for you this week. The search did not bring up any stocks this week. All right. So, what else? Speculative. How many of you out there are speculative? I got some speculative plays for you. Let's go take a look at them. All of the stocks are fundamentally not sound. That's a speculative play. All right. But they all have relative timings above 1. That's what I want. All right. So these are definitely speculative plays. Let's go see if this is worth it for us to look into them going into next week. Go back to tech. No. I don't want tech. I want trade. There we go. Here's my 3 and 8. Put this on a 1-month graph. Remember, these are my speculative plays. Messer is moving up. I wouldn't buy it today on a down day. I'd always rather you get into a stock while the stock is doing what you want it to do, which is go up in price. What else is in here? ONVO, nice new 1-month high on good volume. Very little wick at the top. Speculative play. Remember, relative values and relative safeties don't play a role here. It's all about the stock's price going up. RTs are above 1. Beautiful volume on that. Was this an earnings play? No, it was not. A little bit more wick than I'd like to have on the stock. Wow. SRVA, no wick at the top. Right at a 3-month level of 1-month level of resistance. If that breaks through, that stock's got some upside. If that breaks through, that stock's got some upside. Fusion Pharmaceutical, nicely moving up. I'd like to see more volume, but it is definitely moving higher. And the last one is GCI, Gannett Company. Volume is falling on that. I'd be careful with that, but it is moving higher nonetheless. All right, I got picks for you this week. My picks are going to be all about AI stocks. Debbie, you wanted some AI stocks to look at. I've given you 10 of the best by way of VST in the database. All right, so take a picture of them, but here's 10 stocks. That's my list of stocks for you today for you to take a look at. HP, Glenn, can you explain the 3A cross down? Seems like placing a put does not do well when RT is below 1. HP, is that Hewlett Packard? I think that's HPQ. But HP, let me go, is that Hewlett Pain or something like that? HP, Helmerich Plane. They're looking at the 3 and the 8. Put this on a 1-month graph. Wow. Yeah. The 3 and 8 crossed here. All right. Most recently on 2-1. And you say buying puts don't do, you got to understand from a put perspective, what's the volume on them? What's the delta on it? You got to look at the option. The stock's price may be going down, but if the option doesn't have any momentum behind it, then it won't work. It won't work. So the stock's 3 and 8 looks great to go to the downside, but now I got to check the option on it. All right. And what's the volatility? Is it worth it? The whole 9 yards? Is there open interest on it? And there may not be any open interest, and it may not be trading much. That could answer your question why the stock's option is not working. ACLS on the move. ACLS. Let's go check that out real quick. It is on the move. And from a tech standpoint, on a 1-month graph, the 3 and the 8 look beautiful. Leveling out right now, but the 3 and the 8 look beautiful. There's nothing bad about that stock. You know, that stock is taking off like a plane. There's no nice, that's like a ruler stock, 45-degree angle. Come on, folks, hit that like button. Man, how many likes do we get? I can't see. How many likes are there? 67. Well, it is what it is. Listen, I'm going to always pour my heart out for you. I'm always going to pour my heart out for you to help you out in regards to stocks to buy and sell. And every week, I give you stocks to look at. Lithium. Where's lithium? Lithium right now is it's getting ready to move up again. It did well here. Pulled back, leveled out. I like that the 3 and 8 are about to cross. Very little wick at the top. Volume is starting to pick up a little bit. I'd wait for the 3-8 to cross before I would jump on board. John says, Glenn, your STNG is moving up to new highs too. Again, we've been talking about it on our live stream as a stock for you guys to look at. All right, that's what it's all about. I'm going to continue to do what I got to do to help you guys out the best I can. So we talk about, just think about this. We talk about what's going on in the market. We talk about, why the market is doing what it's doing. And I still think that the market's got more downside. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think it's got more downside. And I don't think that that's going to come to fruition until the Fed goes back up 50 basis points or goes back up 75 basis points. And a lot of you out there are going to say, there's no way he's going to do that. All right. That's all I got to say about that is, all right, the next thing is he's going to raise the terminal rate from 5 to 6%. That's going to help to push the market down as well. All right. There's a lot of things that are out there, and I just want you guys to be aware. You guys are going to always do what you want to do, and that's fine. I just want you to be aware. All right, I know we're not doing stocks, but did you see CYH today? George, we talked about it. We looked at the stock today. We looked at the stock today, and in the Jockey Club this morning, we almost played it. We didn't. The big reason why CYH is up, George, is because it was earnings play. Longer than today or tomorrow, I probably wouldn't be in it. Longer than today or tomorrow, I probably wouldn't be in it. I think I do better with longer hold times than shorter holds. And you know something? I've given you some swing trades to look at. All right. So within the course of today's business, we did look at some swing trades for you to keep your eyes on. All right. How many likes? We got 80 some odd likes. You know me. I always like to try to get to 100 likes. If you felt that it was worth your time to be here today, hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. We got to over 200 people. We didn't get to 300. There's no reason with the information that we give that we shouldn't be more than 300 or more people in this room every live stream. I need you guys to help me out with that. If you feel that the information that we get is worth it, share this and get people to show. We're just at the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other people that we can reach with the insight that we give, and we should, but I need your help to do it. Karen says, thanks for what you're doing here. Thank you for supporting the channel, Karen. And Robbie, it's good to see you as well. All right, it's awesome to see you as well. If unemployment rate got to 10%, we'd have 10,000 people in the room. I hear that because people be out of work. I hear that. All right, what is the best way to use VectorVest for earnings plays? I'd be very nervous, unless I'd take that back. If I'm looking at a stock for earnings, I'd look at relative safety. If relative safety is good and high, chances are they're going to meet or exceed earnings expectations. The problem is in the current earnings environment is that inflation is an issue. So forward guidance is going to could affect the stock's price going after, even if they beat earnings. So it's the environment that we're in right now, Scott, that the forward guidance can have a bigger effect than a company just meeting or exceeding its earnings. All right. So with that, I got to go. Scott says, thanks for your help. Great job. Thank you for that. Thank you, Glenn and Joey, of course, from John. Come on, folks. He works hard for you. Click the like button. I do work hard for you. I want you guys to be aware. Fetch says, good job. Folks, thank you for supporting the channel. Next week, because President's Day is Monday, we won't be having a live stream on Monday. The mid-market is going to be on Tuesday at 11 a.m. It's going to be an hour earlier. All right, it's going to be an hour earlier. I just want to put that out to you. So it's going to be on Tuesday at 11. If you are subscribed to the channel, hit the bell icon, you'll be alerted. So we're going to have 3 live streams in a row. Tuesday, we're going to do midday market. Wednesday, we're going to do afternoon market action. And Thursday, we're going to be doing trending Thursday. So next week, we've got 3 solid days of live streams. And come help your boy out, All right. I'm so glad we had this. Sonny says, I'm so glad we had this time together. just to laugh or just to sing a little song. All right, I gotta go. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks, see ya.